Landlord Tracy Hall, fresh off a loss earlier the same day, seeks $8,000 from another tenant but faces another setback. In her dispute, despite witnesses and receipts, Judge Sheila Johnson remains unswayed. With rising tempers and mold issues, the court orders rent escrow, preparing for a possible third round.
This is case number 2501347 LT. Angela Clark versus Ariana Thomas. That's spelled Arieanna. May we have your name for the record?
Angela.
And your name? All right, ladies, good afternoon. And we're here today for apparently a bench trial. And this is on a landlord tenant hearing for non-payment of rent. I guess there's some issues about how much rent is actually due. All right, so what we're going to do is this. We're going to start with some opening statements. That's just a very brief recitation of what you believe your evidence is going to show for both of you, and the relief that you would like the court to give you. So, and then after you make your opening statements, then we will start the proofs. So each person will have the right to call witnesses. The other person will have a right to cross-examine those witnesses. And in that way, you get your evidence out. So you're asking your witness questions that you think are relevant to your position, that you want the court to hear and to know and to understand. Once each witness is called, the plaintiff, once she's done with her witnesses, she may introduce documents if she can get those into evidence. Then she will rest. And you have a chance to do the same. If you have witnesses, you could bring witnesses, have them testify. She'll get a chance to cross-examine those witnesses. You can try to admit documents. Usually those come in through witnesses. But if you both agree on some documents, you can stipulate to enter those documents into evidence. Once you've called all your witnesses, then you rest. Then she could call rebuttal witnesses for the plaintiff. So any witness that's going to rebut anything that the witness has said for the defense, you could call. And if you have witnesses to rebut what her rebuttal witnesses says, we call that surrebuttal. You could call them. Then the case is done. We go to closing arguments. Each one of you then has to think about what your evidence did show and make that argument. Well, my evidence showed this, this, and this, and therefore I'm asking the court to rule in this way. And then that is your complete case. Each one of you will have an opportunity to do your summary or closing argument. Now, any questions? No? Any questions for me? Okay. Okay, so let's have Ms. Clark make your opening statement.
Okay.
And please step up to the podium.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Short summary. Okay. January of this year on the 6th, I came here to put in a notice to quit after the 5 days when she was late and I did not get any rent or any answer from her what she was going to do. And when I came back on the 7th of the next month, because I put the wrong...
Okay, let me help you. Let me help you a little bit.
Oh, it didn't. She said...
Okay.
Wait. We go. I had to go.
Okay, let me explain this. Let's make it a little easier. What you want to do in your opening statement is tell the short version of the story. Because remember, I don't know anything about what this is about. So you're starting with, well, you came down here and put a notice to quit. Okay, that's fine. But what is the case about? Is it about, did you have a lease agreement?
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm just saying, these are the kind of things that you might want to say. That I had a lease agreement with the defendant from this term to that term. It was for this amount of rent. And it was for premises located at such city of whatever. And then as of such and such date, I didn't receive rent payments. So therefore, I had to file it, and I served a notice to quit or whatever. and then go tell it like that very briefly. And the defendant was behind X amount of months. And so therefore, and everything else was good with the property. And, so she was behind rent. If it was utilities or something included, you can say that. And you can say, so I'm looking for the court to grant me a judgment of possession. No, I'm looking for the court to give me a judgment of possession to turn the premises back over to me because of the breach of the terms of the lease or something like that.
Okay.
And that's real. So that's basic.
Okay.
And then the specifics is what you will all both be testifying to, when you get up there or you call your witnesses. So think of it as like a story. You both know your stories well, but think about the listener. Listener doesn't know anything about it. So you kind of want to bring them up to speed and more of a quick story form without all the particulars. Well, she said this and she said that. No, we don't need to know all that in the opening because that will come out when you start to bring your evidence. Because remember, the opening statements are not evidence. It's how you see your theory of the case to inform the trier of fact and anybody else listening as to what you're looking for and what this case is about. Does that help you a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Did that help you? Okay, good. Go ahead.
Okay. Back in the summer, I needed a
Summer of when?
Last summer, in August of 2024, I was looking for a caregiver for my daughter that's needs help. And I was talking to my niece Tasha, just mentioning. She's like, "Oh, I know someone that needs a job and whatever." And I was like, "Okay, well, give me her number." Anyway, I met her. I thought she was.
When you say her, who are you talking about?
Ariana. I met Ariana. I thought she would fit good. Said she had mental health experience and all of that, so I thought it would go good. So I sent her to Easter Sales Morgue, which is the company that actually hires you and pays you.
Remember, it's brief. You don't have to
okay.
give me all the details now. You can tell me that when you turn your testimony.
But anyway, I had a mother-in-law suite that I was fixing up for me on in my daughter's house. It's divided, so I made a mother-in-law suite and then her side, and then it was brought to my attention that she needed a place to stay for a few months or whatever. And I was like, well, since she's working with my daughter, that might fit good. So we signed a month-to-month lease in August. She paid September. She moved in September. She didn't pay October and November. She paid December. She didn't pay since then.
So she didn't pay September and October?
No.
And then when she paid something else later?
In December. Paid $750 in December. The rent was $750 with the utilities included.
Okay.
Okay, and then she didn't pay in January. I waited to the 5th. I tried to call her. She didn't answer me. To see if she was still planning on doing it or whatever. So then that's when all the paperwork came in and all this. And then later on, after she got the notice and all that, she started complaining about things are broke and this and that. But every time, whenever she told me something, I got it fixed. I have the receipts. And she didn't complain till January. When she got that notice, after the notice, that's when she started saying things were amiss. So. And so here we are.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for, I'm sorry. And she crashed into my garage. So I'm looking for my garage to be paid for. And I'm looking for my back rent. So altogether, like 8,000. With the court costs and everything.
That's the figure. Is $8,000 even?
That's it. I don't care.
You don't care.
I mean, it's more than that, but I'm just, that's all. I mean, the garage is $4,000 and she owes like 5 months of rent, and the court costs I had to pay. And it's big water bill, but I'm just saying, forget the water bill. So I had to take care of it.
Okay, so you're looking for how much?
8,000.
Okay. Would you like to make an opening statement now, or you could wait until it's your turn to present your case? Either way. You can do it now, or you can do it later. Okay. Good afternoon.
Hi, my name is started working with Angela Clark and her daughter back in June of 2024. I had a commission payment, but I still decided to and be working with them.
There were issues with payments.
Yes, we're getting paid and the training and the agency that she was going with. So I started working in June, and ended up starting getting paid until the end of August. And then I moved in September the 1st. My intentions were to just do the month to monthly, while I take my caregiver for her daughter. Well, I was also having payment troubles again with the company that agency, that payroll and things like that in October, November. So I wasn't getting paid. And besides settled on that the hours that I've already worked and was not paid for, that would be compensated for rent.
Okay, wait a minute. You decided what?
That my hours worked with her daughter in October and November would cover my rent payment.
Okay.
From there in November, found out that actually September, her daughter would be like, yeah, come smell in my house when I don't really know what it is. I'm like, okay.
Her daughter had a smell in the house.
Yes, there was a smell in the house.
In September.
In September, when I first moved in. And I was like, I'm not really sure. I didn't really smell it on the outside at that moment. And I'm sorry, I'm not sure. When I first moved in, there was a problem with the toilet, which was her knowledge. And that's why it was like held up. So I didn't and right away in August when I first started working. So that then kind of went away, but it never really went away. And then back in November, I'm waking up with headaches every day. I'm waking up with dizziness. I'm like, okay, this smell is a problem. And it's a bigger problem than you think it is. So I brought it to Landlord, Angela's attention, and then she decided to actually get it looked at. Summer came in November and was like, okay, there is a huge problem. It's about $30,000 worth with underneath the crawl spaces in the home coming from the toilet. And it's not going out to the main pipe for the streets or whatever the case was. Then I paid my rent in December because I needed a place for me and my son to stay. And then I was just thinking it would be taken care of.
Wait, what happened in December? You needed a place to stay.
Yes, because we're doing the month-to-month rent. So me and my son were still living there in December. So I paid for the rent then. Then in January, January 1st, well, December 31st, I got a text message saying the daughter didn't want me to work for her anymore. It wasn't working out. Mom confirmed it January 1st, and the company confirmed it January 1st as well. So I just feel as though that I am disputing the claim for unsafe and inhabitable living conditions, also retaliatory eviction, and just lack of proper inspection and maintenance. And notice probation.
Okay. Did you file a counter complaint, or is this just your defense to her claim? Because not sure.
This is just my defense. This is my response to her claim.
Okay. Thank you. I'm going to call your first witness. Let me just say this. We're not going to finish today, but we're going to come back because we close at 4:30. But we're going to come back and finish it fairly soon. So we're going to get another date, but we can start. And I'm going to go just a little past 4:30 to get that first witness in. Who's your first witness?
This might be Tasha, the
Okay.
one who recommended.
Okay, ma'am. What is your name?
Tasha.
Latasha. Natasha. Okay, Miss Ali, could you please stand and raise your right hand? You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give be the truth, whole truth, but nothing but the truth.
Yes.
All right, thank you. And spell your name for the record.
NATASHAA. Last name AL-ALI.
AL hyphen.
ALI.
So it's like all Ali?
Yes.
Okay.
And you gonna ask me a question?
Excuse me.
No.
What are you waiting for?
Um,
Why don't you step up to the podium?
Tasha, do you remember a phone call that a text message I sent you about my garage? Yes. I sent you a picture of my garage trash can, and I said, look what your daughter did. You remember? And so then.
Okay, let me say this. You have to ask a question. You can't tell her.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You have to ask it in the form of a question because the evidence, excuse me, wait a minute. The evidence is her answer, not your question.
Okay.
So you got to get a question that she can answer in the form of giving me the information that you want me to know.
Okay, and then, okay. So you called me back that day, right? And then you called me back the next day, right? Yes. Okay, and you were telling me about, what were you telling me that she was telling you? She was telling me that she was busy when I called her because I felt bad that all this was going on. So I was told that she did crash into the garage by Ari, and Ari was like, she slid on the thing. I said, so why weren't you communicate with Angie to tell her that you damaged her garage? I said, and then she was like complaining about other things. I kept saying that this was too much for me because I did introduce Ari to my aunt and so forth and them together. So I was trying to stay out of it at first. Next question. Okay, and did you when you were telling me all the complaints she was telling you, and what did I say about that? That I hear, what did I say about that? For the timeline of the complaints, I never heard nothing more about the size of the place was small when Ari was first initially going to move into your place. It wasn't until actually when.
All right, I'm confused. What are we talking? What's the question?
The question is, I wanted her. Okay, did you get Ari to call me? Did you tell Ari to give me a call? Yes. To communicate with me? Yes.
About what?
About the garage and about any complaints about the toilet or anything,
Okay.
right? Did you tell her? Because she was complaining to her, not telling me anything.
Okay, I got it. So you told the defendant here to call.
Communicate.
Okay.
Communicate, because I told her that it was making me in an awkward position because I've known her since she was 3 years old, but that's my aunt. You know, I explained her to the situation that you putting me in an awkward spot because I recommended you and you're not doing the right thing. At no time during that time when she was talking to me did she complain about nothing but the size. She didn't tell me it was an awkward smell over there. She did tell me different things that she was complaining about.
She
Conditions of the
she
house.
complained about what? The size?
The size of the house.
The size.
She didn't think that she should be paying $750 for one bedroom in Southfield, but I told her, but all your utilities is included. You have to take that into account. You can't get no other place like that, you know. And so, and Angie didn't know about certain things that she was complaining to me about, and this was in the middle of February. So she thinks that this
February when?
February 2025. So she's saying that Angie retaliated against her and served her with an eviction notice because of her complaint. She never made a complaint until February, so that defense should be gone, in my opinion.
Okay.
And I have personal knowledge and text messages from her.
You got to respond to the question. What's the next question?
Okay, so that's it for right now. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. You got some questions for me?
You have questions for him?
Yes, Your Honor. Did I or did I not give you any knowledge of the sewage problems that were going on in the house?
No, not until after, when you was complaining last month when I called you and I said, when you told me about the smell in the tub and all that stuff, then you was like, I think she's trying to do it on purpose. Only thing you complained to me about was about Mariah messing with you. You never said it stank so bad you couldn't go to sleep. Because you know you could have came over my house. You've been over my house since this whole thing been going on. You ain't never asked me like, Tasha, I'm getting sick. Can I come to stay with you for a while until Angie get it figured out? And then when I asked you, why would you like do all this stuff to show up before you try to make her into a slum landlord? You said you had to do the best you would ask you because you ain't have nowhere else to go. So
how do you know all of that information?
Wait. You got to answer the question. What's the question?
How do you know all of that information if you have not had those conversations?
I have talked to you and I have the phone records. I got text messages from you. You never said nothing to me about this thing so bad. You just informed me last month that you felt like you shouldn't have to pay the rent because it's
okay,
so bad. No.
So from August to last month, which is March, we were only in communication all of that time. In March?
No, I said we've been in constant communication and you did not complain to me about no sewage smell in March, but you stated on the record that it's been stinking since the first month we moved in September.
Yeah,
you went ahead and worked there because you told the judge in December you needed somewhere to stay, so you ignored the smell. I'm saying you never told me.
I never ignored it. I brought it for.
Okay, stop. This is not how this works.
Yeah.
First of all, witness, I know you want to get all of it out, but you can only respond. You can only respond to the question.
Yes,
so
the question was, she said, did she communicate with me for March about the smell? And I said no.
Okay, good.
Okay, so how do you know that it was so unbearable for me I couldn't sleep?
I do not know that, but I know that you never complained about it. You complained about the cold, you complained about the rent, you complained about the size. So why wouldn't you, as a confidant, you've been knowing me since you were 3 years old, be like, Tasha, it doesn't smell good in there.
I remember.
And me and Ash should be in.
But those are all the questions.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions based upon those questions? Limited to what she just asked about.
No.
Okay, that's that.
Thank you.
You have another one?
Right. So over here is wrong.
Witness stand.
I don't feel right. Oh, yeah.
Raise your right hand. solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be true, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Sure.
All right, have a seat. Thank you. Tell us your name and spell it.
Mariah, Mariaa, last name Dalton, Dalton.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Okay. In December, you were calling me a lot, telling me that Ariana wasn't at work. She just was sitting on her side and wasn't working. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay. And you called me when she wasn't there, when she was supposed to be working also. So I talked to you when she was supposed to be there, but she wasn't, right? You would call me and tell me she's just it. So that is the reason why.
Okay, no, you
No.
can't tell her a reason.
No, I said, no, Mariah, what is the reason why you wanted her to go?
Well, because she was coming to work, but sometimes she'll like go away on the other side, so it was time for me to pick my son up from
What's the other side?
It's the mother-in-law suite
Okay,
that
ma'am, I'm talking.
Okay, go ahead. Okay.
I can only get information from the witness,
Okay.
not you.
Sorry.
Okay. So, what's the other side?
The other side of the house, like where I live at, it's like a whole nother side of the house divided like her place. We go over there until it's time for us to pick up Trevor. She come like in the daytime, and she just go over there until it's time for us to pick Trevor.
So basically, are you saying she really wasn't attending to you, but she was over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and what else did you tell me she was doing that made you uncomfortable?
Well, okay, I'm letting her be sorry, excuse me.
That's fine.
Okay. Sometimes she needs me, like she kind of say some stuff to me, just kind of needs to come like at the side of her, just like one time I had the heater turned on and she like this, she's like, well, I don't know why you have it so low. And I had it low because sometimes my house gets very hot and I'm trying to keep my son from getting sick because he gets sick easy, so I have the heat on to keep him warm. But she was just like acting kind of funny. And then one time she thought I locked her out her car. And she told me that if I locked her out her car again, I'm going to end up walking back home in the cold. And I told her I was going to call the police. And she was like, I told her I'm friends with the police. And she was like, so am I.
Huh?
Yeah, she was sending threats to me sometimes. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's all I have to say. I think that's my mom has the more question.
Okay.
Is anybody gonna get to the situation with the rent? That's what we're here for, really.
Right. So that, like I said, so she didn't pay in January.
Okay, but you're not supposed to be saying it because you're not the witness. Can this witness?
No, she can't answer about rent.
All right.
That was collected.
So she's just here to tell us why that she wanted to dismiss the defendant from her care.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Did you have, you still have more questions for me?
no.
Okay, wait. Do you have questions for me?
Yes, I do.
Sorry. I just was wondering, how long did you notice from your house?
Well, first of all, it's never been established that she noticed the smell. You have to ask her that first.
Have you noticed a sewage smell in your home?
Yeah.
Did you notice it before I moved into your home?
I think I noticed it. I think when you first started working for me, I started to smell it.
Okay, so back in like June.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else now? No? Based upon that question.
Yeah. Mariah, can you, as far as time and months, I mean, can you really pinpoint months and times that's far away? Like, can you remember, like, the dates and everything?
Yeah, I can try to.
Okay, Mariah.
I didn't really smell anything before Ariana started working for me. I didn't smell nothing here. This when she started. That's my first memory.
Okay, and then when the plumber came before she moved in, and remember we had this snaked out, right?
No.
And then
You can't.
we had it snaked out.
No,
Then-
you're telling her ma'am, you have to ask a question.
Okay.
You can't tell her what to say. Yeah, we did this. No, you're
Okay.
testifying. You have to just ask a question.
All right. You remember how many plumbers throughout since she's been there has been to the house?
3.
How many plumbers?
3.
About 3.
Yes.
That's what you remember. 3 of them at least. Thank you. Okay, that's it.
Okay, well, you remember 3 plumbers came in.
Yeah.
Remember, did you happen to know what did you see them do? Do you know what they did?
They had one into the floor. They went into the floor and they said it was floor down there. They had got like the sewer up and they had got the water off the floor. That's what they did. It don't smell no more now though.
Do you know if they fixed the original problem?
Yes. It don't smell anymore.
And do you remember when they fixed it where it didn't smell anymore?
Let me see if I can remember. I think that was so we in April right now. It's April. So let's see. It was in March, right now. I think it was in March.
Of this year.
Yeah, in March of this year it was fixed, I believe. It was good enough too.
And were the 3 plumbers coming at the same time or different times?
Different time.
And do you remember when you first saw the first one? Was it last year or this year?
This year.
Okay. Anybody, you have any other questions? No? Or yes?
Okay. Do you remember them working on the house before Ariana moved in?
Yes.
Okay. All right, that's it. That's enough. Thank you.
Well,
Do you have anything else based on my question?
yes.
All right.
I'm also wondering, do you remember our conversation when I just asked you not to wait outside in the cold with your son and to have the heat on during the winter time? Yes, I remember that. Yes, I remember that. Thank you.
Okay, then you may step down.
Y'all gotta ask a question.
Ooh.
Me.
You have another one,
Um,
including yourself.
Go up here. Do I have to go up here?
Did you want to testify?
Yes.
Okay.
But no, never mind. I have what I was gonna do. What I have is proofs and things from plumbers and the dates and whatever. So, every month it was a plumber. They couldn't figure out.
Ma'am, let me say this. This is your case, okay? I can't try it for you. You're going to have to try it to the best of your ability. So if you think you have evidence that you think I need to hear, then you might need to present it. I don't know. This is your chance.
And I bring it to you. Just talk about it, then bring it to you.
Okay, you're trying to admit something into evidence?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you would have to talk about it and we'd have to determine if it's admissible or not. Because normally it's considered hearsay if you have documents and they're used to prove something that's true in the document. You usually need the person here who wrote the document so that they can explain it as to whatever it is. If it's a receipt, usually, unless everybody agrees that this is what it is, then you could.
I don't know if it's whatever, but I just want to prove it was not. Just ignoring everything, trying to solve the
Okay, well,
issue.
Well, I don't, right now, there's nothing on this record except for what these two witnesses have said. Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
All right. Have a seat. Tell us your name. Spell your name.
Angela Clark, ANGELADLARK.
Okay. What would you?
Okay,
And remember what I told you about kind of starting as a story to whatever you want me to know, so that it makes sense.
everything is, I'm not trying to be a bad person or whatever, okay? Everything is done in good faith. Whenever Ariana never told me about anything to dispute it if she wanted to. And I have my message on my phone. I never got any complaint from her until after she got the notice to quit in January. Then it was all these, then I hear from her, from Tasha, that is complaints, right? And so then I call her, hey, is the toilet running? Is it whatever? And I told her I'm gonna be there in 2 days. It'll get the plumber's coming, to let her know, give her notice that the plumber was coming to fix the issue. They fixed her toilet that was running because my bill, I got the bill. It was $1,500. And I'm like, well, something is going on. I said, nobody's saying that. And so I tried to reach out to her to find out what was going on with this water bill. And then I gave her notice to go in. I got the plumber. He came and fixed the toilet. The shower, she had removed the shower head and put on her own shower head. And that's why it was leaking. We repaired that. Then about the toilet backing up and stuff like that, I called them every month. And then finally, this company finally found out what the problem was, and I got it fixed. $5,000 and something dollars, but I got it fixed. My grandson lived there. My daughter lived there. I wouldn't want this to be like that. I every time I called, so I wasn't being a slum live like, no, that wasn't the case. I have receipts where the plumbers came out. I paid them.
Okay. Do you want to submit any of that into evidence?
Yes, I would, and I have a receipt for my garage door because I got an estimate for the garage door. She admitted that she did crash into the garage door.
Ma'am, I'm waiting.
Okay, sorry.
He'll get it from you.
Okay. Here is that, and here's other plumbing.
Okay. Would you like to show that to her first? See if she has any objection. Okay, so you're giving me are these receipts for things that you've had repaired already?
Yes. I kept calling them plumbers out there. And it was fixed.
Okay. All right, so I just showed you all the receipts that she wishes admitted evidence. What would you, any objection?
Yes, I'd like to
object and dispute for the garage door. For
So that's the
proper ice and shit. In my mind, I did not intentionally.
okay. Wait. We're let's go this way. You're okay with these other receipts, but not the garage door receipt? Is that what you said?
Receipts from her that she needed to fit. So I'm not sure. They all are coming.
Okay, ma'am. It's either a yes or no. Do you object or not? Not object. Okay. So the one you have a problem with is which one? Precision garage door? And you objecting on what grounds?
At first, she gave me a notice that she was going to charge me $1,000 for the garage door, for the damage. And then she came back and then it was $4,759 for the damage. I received that claim on the ground as well.
So what?
Okay.
Because she increased it?
Yeah.
All right, so you're questioning whether or not this work was actually done?
Yeah.
Okay.
And if like, if that's what I would actually owe her. But she just like blamed me like I intentionally just crashed into her garage door. It's minimal damage. It was because it was improper snow removal and ice. So I have documents.
Okay. Well, all right. So, okay, we're not. Stop, ladies. You address the court. You don't address each other. So basically, we'll admit all these other exhibits and not the garage door exhibit because she questions the validity of it. So
I didn't know how much the garage want to cost, so I got a
ma'am, stop. She wants to have the person here that from Precision to cross-examine. She can't cross-examine a document about the pricing and all of these things. So we will not admit this one, but we're not gonna finish this today. So if you would like to bring the person from Precision in to testify, you can still got time to do that. You just need to subpoena whoever this is or somebody from them to testify about this work that was done, why it was necessary, what they did based upon this bill. And then she can cross-examine them about that. And she, at some point, can testify as to why she thinks this isn't right, I guess. Okay? So we're not admitting it today. If you would like to get it admitted, then you could bring the persons from Precision in to testify about the specifics of this. Just says she's challenging the things. And this would be what we call hearsay, because this is an out-of-court statement. Even though it's nobody talking, it's a document that's being
show pictures of the garage. That's not evidence either.
That's evidence, but she's challenging the price. And this is an out-of-court statement, which is a document that was made outside of this courthouse that you're using to prove the truth of what's in it. And that's subject to cross-examination. So she has a right to she can't cross-examine the document. So she could cross-examine the person who would have created this document or has knowledge of the business records relating to this document, which would be somebody that did this work over from Precision. Okay. So,
what about the? I did put in that I like her money in escrow because this has been.
ma'am, escrow is irrelevant at this point right now.
We said I paid for paper. You know, they charge me
Who charged you
and downstairs
to ask for escrow?
Yes, to fill out the escrow form, to ask for escrow from the court.
Well, they charged you what?
$20, $25.
Well, was it a motion for escrow?
Yes, yes.
Okay, because I never received a motion for escrow. Because escrow is usually paid pending the trial.
But if the trial ain't finished, I mean, I did it.
I can't, but what I can't do is order back escrow. If you believe that you have a need to be protected between now and the next court date, I can order escrow from here forward. Okay, but I guess we're gonna start right now. Okay. So what can I report in the next day, please?
What's available May 6th at 10:30? Judge?
When is that? Well, we can get this too. May 6th of what?
Yeah.
City Judge. Maybe. No,
This was done.
wait. They won't go because I'm not gonna do it. We're gonna do this. So I've got exhibits. Let's see. All these are gonna be. I'm marking 1, 2, 3. 4. 5, 6, 7. Four, 5. Oh, 6. Looks like I got 6. This last exhibit, we will wait and see if that gets admitted. It's a proposed exhibit. So if you would like a subpoena, you can at some point go downstairs and ask, pay for have the subpoena served, get the name of the person and the address and place where they can be served. And you'll fill all of that out on the subpoena with the new court date. And then the court officer will serve the person, but you might want to contact. You want this back for now?
Yeah.
That's your proposed 7. And then you can find out who that is and subpoena them to come. And we're doing May 6th, did we say? 2:30 a.m. Okay. So I'll keep these exhibits that were admitted and we'll see you all.
Are you doing it?
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. So how much is the monthly rent? All right, today is the 17th. This has 30 days. It looks like that's $25 a day. Yeah. So 25 from today on. It's 14 days for this month. $350 for escrow for April. That's going to be due within 7 days of today's date. And then 750 will be due on about the date that rent is normally due, which would be May 1st. I think we have a 7-day grace period too. So I'm going to do the escrow order now. Okay. Jessica, you send your notice?
Right, I'm gonna know that they decide one again.
Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do, pull up my escrow order. Zero. T. Okay, so this order says basically that we're ordering escrow due to the fact that we're adjourning the trial more than 7 days. And it's $350 for prorated rent from the date of this order until the date rent is normally due, which would be till the end of this month to May 1st. Then as of May 1st, $750 will be due. You get a 7-day grace period to pay that to the court downstairs. We do not take personal checks or money orders for escrow. Acceptable payments are cash, certified bank checks payable to the 46th District Court. You're going to get a copy of this order, but you know it's $350 within 7 days.
Well, I pay that if I do not live.
You pay it where?
I pay that if I do not live there.
Well, you moved out?
No,
Well, what do you mean no?
her stuff is still there.
Oh,
Her
yeah.
car is still there yesterday.
Yeah, well, then you have to pay it. Well, you do have to pay it then because you haven't officially moved out.
Like all of my there. I just have some things that I'm selling. I was ready.
Well, anytime you get anything there counts.
for the next.
Well, ma'am, you got to order. Got to pay it. Okay, so I'm going to send the order out now.
I was selling the last of my things today, so it will no longer be there as of today.
Okay, but the escrow order is still going to be in place. You still have to pay.
From
Okay, well, let me say this. You have to pay it because it's the court order. If it turns out that you don't owe this money, you're going to get it back. One, 3, 4, 7, 1, 2. Okay, so I'm importing this for my signature. You're gonna be all set for today. This case is in recess or adjourned for the day.
Thank you.
Mhm.